Sunny ways, my friends. Sunny ways.
You sneaky. You're running as an outsider.
I am an outsider.
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of water out of when we have water bottles out of a plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles. So
Well, Lottie frickin' God!
You're ready to fight, aren't you? I can feel
I intend to resign as party leader, as prime minister.
Is this true?
Yes, it's true. This man has no integrity.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Mr. Prime Minister, will there always be a Canada?
There will always be a Canada.
All right, elbows up.
Elbows up.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
So the answer to that is to stop being stupid.
My great pleasure to introduce my husband, the Prime Minister who will make Canada strong. And Canada for!
I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Thank you. It will be an honor to continue to fight for you and to be a champion of your cause as we go forward.
Let's fucking go.
Knockout!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Welcome to Friday Night Fringe here on the channel. Great to see so many of you in here so early in the stream. Hit that thumbs up if you're just joining us. If you haven't yet, welcome in. I hope you've all had a great week. What a week it's been. Joining us, of course, as always, you don't hear me say it enough in our videos. The beautiful Mrs. Fringe, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. In fact, I had to let you speak for a second because what's really funny is after last week's stream, somebody went out of their way, and I posted it on Twitter. It was one of the funniest comments ever, that somebody said that when you look at Mark Carney walking, 10 feet in front of his wife, taking separate cars, by the way, from the airport to get to their hotels at the G7. Some individual said that him and his wife watched us last week and couldn't believe that I'm always talking over Mrs. Fringe, and she looks so shocked and appalled that I'm just like Mark Carney with my wife.
Yeah.
I thought it was so hilarious. Guys, Mrs. Fringe is still getting a feel for internet lingo. She's just here to hang out and join in the chat.
Yes.
Do you feel like we're like Mark Carney and his wife?
Absolutely not.
I'm not gonna lie, Mrs. Fringe threw up in her mouth a little bit when we saw that comment. Welcome into everybody who's here. Disgusted Canadian, I gotta get to you first. $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Did anyone see that video from President Flop on TikTok? Is Carney okay? Carney looked like he was acting like Mr. Bean. Well, he's like Mr. Burns. He hangs around and says, Smithers, bring in Donald Trump and don't give him any of our oil. Release the hounds. I hope you guys are all doing okay. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Let's get a good old-fashioned roll call going on while people break into the channel. What do you say? 500 viewers strong in the stream so far, folks. Let's see how many people we can get to tonight. Let's go. Let's go. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're new here, throw it out in the chat. Carol and Gerald is joining us from Calgary tonight. Welcome in. It's good to have you here. Night of Felina joining us from Red Deer. Jan Core is coming in from Ottawa. We got Luca joining us from Burnaby. We got Disgusted Canadian from Scarborough, Ontario. Mike's joining us from Victoria. We got Nelson coming in from New Brunswick. Rob James, welcome in from Glencoe. Looking for a fever prescription. Not this early in the show, but welcome in. It's good to have you here. We got David Brewer joining us from Springfield, Missouri, USA. Always love having our American viewers in here as well. Welcome into all of them. We've got Wesley Snipes coming in from Lethbridge. Great to have you here. We got Carnage Carney Coming in from Calgary, I got Greg coming in from Edmonton as well. We got Trekka coming in from Calgary. Jay Peterson's joining us from Spruce Grove. Welcome in. I'm not going to do the usual joke. It's just welcome in. We got Calix coming in from the U.S. Alberta, Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas. But if Alberta gets in, aren't we bigger than Texas?
Yeah.
If Alberta becomes the 51st state, I think we're larger than Texas. We would be the biggest state in the United States. I think Texas might be upset with that. Carson, El Gringo Grande, joining us from Porno Viagra. Welcome in. We've got CB Fixes All joining us from the sovereign country of Alberta. Vote yes. Let's go. Welcome in. Great to have you here. Eric 204, my brother, will joining us from Winnipeg. Great to have you here. Brian Watson, hanging out in Wasaga Beach. Hopefully nobody's pooping on it yet.
Yeah.
Welcome into the stream. It's great to have you here. We got Timmy from Saskatoon. I don't know if that's the blowjob queen or not, but truthful Timmy joining us here. If you haven't seen Deadpool, you're not going to get the joke. Becca CRI from Lloyd is joining us as well. We got Bogcat coming in from BC. Cryptic Mind coming in from Michigan. Love the state of Michigan. Welcome in. Jimmy coming in from Nova Scotia. Shelly from Prince George. We got Eric coming in from Louisiana. Holy crap, a lot of American viewers. Andrew, Williams Lake, BC, gorgeous town. Sith Cat's coming in with hello. Aaron's coming in from Edmonton. Gotta love that Seinfeld reference. Mike coming in from Coaldale. Dave is joining us from High River. Aaron Morrison coming in from Red Deer. Lee is coming in from Edmonton once again. Jason joining us from Vancouver Island. Gaming with Bone coming in from Cowtown. We got Jim coming in from Woodstock, Ontario. John is joining us with his wife Tammy from Iroquois Falls, Ontario. Guys, I got to get caught up with the chat. It's getting nuts in here already, especially Harry Ludwig gifting 5 unacceptable fringe memberships to the Patriots Club. Thank you so much for your generosity. Welcome to all 5 of our brand new Patriots members. Remember, folks, if you join the Patriots Club, it helps the channel, especially in these dark times of censorship. We certainly never asked for money from anybody. However, if you join the Patriots Club, it goes directly to supporting the channel, and it enters every member into a draw at the end of the month. Last live stream of the month.
Which is next week.
Is that next week already?
It is next week.
We're going to do a draw, folks. One lucky Patriots Club member will be getting their choice of a free item from our shop, any choice that they wish. So join the Patriots Club, support the channel, just like Dark Helmet has done. All hail Dark Helmet, coming in gifting 5 unacceptable fringe memberships to the Patriots Club as well. So thank you very much for that. Good old Dark Helmet. I don't know if you guys heard this. Did you know Spaceballs?
Spaceballs 2
is getting a sequel, and Rick Moranis is going to come out of retirement.
That is awesome.
To play Dark Helmet again in Spaceballs. I'm so excited.
It'll look
so excited. Can't wait to see that. And love Mel Brooks. It's going to be great. Guys, first off, I seen a lot of people. I got to first touch on yesterday's video. A lot of people mentioning the lovely, colorful email that I got over here at Unacceptable Fringe. Just want to let everybody know, everyone here is okay. I thank you very much for your concern during that video. Just know that, again, the authorities are in control at this point. We won't be talking about it further. It was very alarming to read such a disturbing email because it was quite colorful and quite graphic. However, the pretense of yesterday's video was to talk about, we all got to be able to take other opinions. We got to be able to listen to other sides. It
just amazes me. Like, we're all adults. I do not get it.
Welcome to the wonderful world of YouTube and politics, namely social media. People get very butthurt on social media these days.
They use it as like a hide behind, right?
It's I'm behind a screen, so I can say whatever I like. And well, FAFO. Hopefully the police track down this individual. But nonetheless, folks, I'm not taking it seriously. We certainly are not worried, I'd say, in this house. There's no cause for concern. But I certainly don't want to be a gatekeeper on this channel. I want to make sure that when we have people like Cam Davies on, it's not necessarily to promote or endorse.
To inform.
But it's to inform.
That's what we're here for,
now,
is to inform.
I had a bias to the Alberta Republicans because I said, well, you know, they're just like the PPC. They're just here to split the vote. And while some people still have that feeling, I do believe that Cam Davies truly wants to be the leader of a political party.
I'm looking forward to hearing from everybody, really.
Part of why I wanted him on this channel, and you guys got to keep this in mind, is that this by-election is very serious in Alberta coming up this week. If Cam Davies wins his seat, that sends a message to the UCP that maybe they got to work a little bit harder, maybe take a tougher stance on things like independence in Alberta. Even though I'll say Danielle's playing the field pretty good so far. But it also shows the country that Alberta's not messing around anymore. If Cam wins his seat, that shows real disdain in the province. So we'll see what happens with that one. Again, it's up to you guys, the viewers, and those who live in those ridings, what they're going to do. Disgusted Canadian, $5 Super Chat. Thank you so much. I wonder what will happen with Spaceballs 2 without John Candy.
Yeah.
I'm really not sure. The guy was a legend.
Definitely. He will be missed in that movie.
Speaking of interviews, we got a big one coming this week.
We do.
Big interview coming this week, folks. I mentioned it in yesterday's video, but if you missed that video, Preston Manning will be joining me on the channel this week to chat a little bit about his thoughts on Alberta independence, where he sees Alberta going, where he feels Alberta should go. Because you and I were on the phone with...
Yeah, it was great hearing from him and everything he had to say. And I'm really excited to actually get him on the show so everybody can hear that.
Well, he had some great ideas.
He did, yeah.
I will say that. We had a very lengthy conversation. Again, I've known Preston Manning since, well, all of this started. When How the Prime Minister Stole Freedom...
He's a big fan of yours.
...first came out. He started out... Not going to lie, he started out as a fan.
Yeah.
And no, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to ask him to yell reform on the video.
Although you did think about it.
I did think about it. I contemplated it for a while. But very good conversation with Preston Manning this week. I'm looking forward to having him on. Also spent a lot of time chatting with Pierre Poilievre's people this week as well, alongside Mrs. Fringe. Talks about maybe having Pierre on, maybe helping him out with his talking points, we'll say, when it comes to his by-election. Now, again, folks, I don't want to be a gatekeeper. I still believe that if Alberta were to stay a part of Canada, Pierre's the best guy for the job.
Yes.
So
if they're not, Danielle.
I still support Pierre despite his loss. I think mistakes were made. We've talked about those.
But I completely understand why people are upset with him.
And they really took the time.
They definitely deserve to be upset with him.
And they listened to our dismays. In fact, when we had the conversation with Pierre's folks this week, a lot of those concerns were addressed. They listened for once. So I'll give them that. And hopefully we can see Pierre on the channel. Again, summer's going to be real busy with him in this by-election. But I'm hoping that the Fringe as an Alberta channel can get behind his by-election, give him a place to talk, give him a place to get his voice out.
We'll see.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I do have to make another honorable mention to Aaron becoming a new member of the Patriots Club. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Patriots Club. You're now in our monthly draws. Good to have you here. Peggy saying, when is Pierre's by-elections? It was my understanding it was supposed to be in August, but I'm kind of confused because I haven't heard anything about it.
No.
And as per the video title, Mark Carney called it quits. He went away for the summer today. The House of Commons is shut down for summer.
Oh my God, they're not working?
After 17 days of work, folks, because we know how hard
it's been a really hard year.
17 days of work can be. That's just over 2 weeks to you and me in the pleb class of people. 2 weeks and hey, time to go for 2 months.
Yeah.
Right? Let's go for 2.5 months of vacation.
Why not?
Let's take some time off while, of course, the country's falling apart. We're going to talk about that tonight. But first, ladies and gents, you guys aren't here to hear me flap my gums at the beginning of a stream, are you? Absolutely not. Everybody's here for the memes.
Yes, that's what we all come here for.
Everybody comes
Friday
here.
memes.
Everybody comes here to hang out and hear Friday night memes. Let's get Fringeworthy $5 Super Chat. Did you see that MCGA that was being a jerk to you and has Northern Perspective coming after him for talking about them and their son? I try not to get into that drama.
No.
I didn't hear anything about that. Listen, from what I understand with Northern Perspective, I know their son is special needs.
Yes.
That's not cool.
No.
Don't attack people's kids. Keep the kids out of it.
Yes.
You know, I've said it a million times, and I said the same thing when some comments were made by Mark Slapinski this week about Mrs. Fringe on Twitter. I said, you know, you come after me all you want. Keep the wife out of it. I know she joins me on the videos. Be proper, guys. Find a way to be reasonable. Be mature. Come on, get it together. Disgusted Canadian. $5 Super Chat. I think if the Jets ever win a cup, you should do a video with Steve Dangle.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. Nobody can predict the future, right? I always like this meme. I liked this one. We had to show it, of course. OAO, the OAO hour here on the stream. How do you talk without a brain? Oh, I'm a liberal. Love that meme. It's simple, really. I like this one. What rhymes with climate change? Communism.
Yep.
Always a good one. I feel bad for chuckling when I see the memes, but I have to give a laugh because I like them so much. But I feel like a comedian laughing at his own jokes. This one really gets me during Pride Month. A Texas restaurant has been criticized for using photos of Caitlyn Jenner and Bruce Jenner before and after transition to the bathroom doors.
I would
what are your
still
thoughts?
ask, where's the ladies' room?
Well, that is true because this is just one lie and this is reality.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know. Which bathroom? That does raise some confusion. Not gonna lie, but it's it's a good one. I like this one. This one's kind of like the liberal speaking without a brain. Dating a liberal guy. I hope I didn't get him pregnant. I mean, it's good, but it's kind of real at the same time, isn't it? With the way society works these days. Aaron Morrison, $2 super chat. I need the Carney G7 greeting made it into a meme. Did it really? When he was doing his dumb little stepping thing with the hands and the waving around. I'm not sure what the hell he was doing there, but whatever he's on, give me some. I want some. CES was recent. Justin Trudeau, of course, taking some time to check out technology during his retirement at CES. And yes, before I get into it, folks, that's a joke. This is AI, but let's check it out. It's still funny.
Tell me everything you know about Justin Trudeau. Me.
Computing. Justin Trudeau, illegitimate son of Fidel Castro, solely responsible for the downfall of Canada, the most hated prime minister in Canada's history.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. That's about par for the course, isn't it? Suna Soul Silver, $5 super chat. I appreciate your interview with Cam, but there was another person that made some sense and voted for them. His name was Nenshi, and I regretted it. I appreciate that. Thank you. We're going to talk about Nenshi tonight as well. Thank you for the super chat. Mike Kelvin, $13.99 super chat. Moved from Ontario 13 years ago. I never knew how the East treated the West till I moved here.
Yeah.
Best decision I ever made. I vote independence. Appreciate that. And thank you for the super
Thank
chat.
you.
We all feel that way.
Yeah.
We all feel that way. In fact, what we're going to go over tonight, again, presses the concern of, I don't understand how any Albertan can look at what's going on and say, yeah, I'm good with sticking around.
Yeah.
Let's stay. That makes sense. Disgusted Canadian, $5 super chat. Carney's moving his hands and feet at the G7 was what reminded me of Mr. Bean. It wasn't just Mr. Bean. It was kind of reminded me of like the Queen's Guard. Whenever they walk around with their rifles and they do the whole little march thing and they switch posts. Like, I don't know if maybe Mark spent too much time in Britain or what was going on. Speaking of Britain, there was some protests going on over in the UK. No, I don't think this is UK. I think this is France. But somebody's saying this is how you deal with protesters. Now, not really a meme, but definitely funny and worthy to watch. I think this is what we need to start doing in Canada, folks. Let's take a look.
Premier qui bouge l'encul. Vas-y. Premier qui bouge l'encul. Premier qui bouge l'encul, je m'en bats les couilles. Le premier qui bouge l'encul. C'est pas des ridicules. Pacifiste, c'est pas connard. C'est fait comme tu cherches pas un diable aussi. C'est chier. Tous les jours, vous nous faites chier. On travaille, nous aussi. On a des familles. Allez, moi aussi, je travaille. C'est de l'agriculture. Je suis agriculteur. Laissez passer là maintenant. Je veux qui bouge le lit. Je veux qui bouge le lit. Voici qui travaille. Je vais spectaculaire. Comme de blaireau. Allez, monsieur. Levez-vous, je vais là.
You notice how this one car here in the back stop moving while he was dragging that person. I think they should have just kept going, right? Like,
I mean, you would still get charged for hitting a pedestrian.
Well,
that's why they're doing it.
I don't know the laws over there. I'm not going to pretend to know the laws.
I'm from Canada.
I'm from Canada. I'm from out of town. I don't know those things. Let's go. Carney, $5 super chat. Jagmeet was called a goof by Drake at a concert.
Wow.
I mean, that says a lot from Drake. Doesn't he? Doesn't he make regular Diddy party attendances or island trips? I heard something about Drake with basements and children. I don't know. Jay Peterson, $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I was disappointed to see the Oilers lose on Wednesday. I checked on Thursday morning and was shocked to see that the price of butter had not changed. Oh. There you go. Thank you so much for the super chat. They had the Carney curse. This is what happens when Carney goes around and wears Oilers jerseys. We lose.
Yeah.
We lose. They shit the bed. I couldn't believe it. Scotty with a $5 super chat. I was ready to abandon the Conservatives forever, but they managed to cut C5, no uniparty. We're going to talk about that tonight. Thank you for the super chat. We're going to talk about that. This is what we should start doing with all the Palestine protests.
Yes.
Speaking of which, I believe somebody had posted, I think I've got something about it here. I thought I had something about it on the stream. There is a, let me go to my bookmarks, folks. Sorry, we'll do it live. We'll do it live. Let's go right here. Good friend of the channel, Jack Dan, showing this tweet here.
Oh.
If you don't like Canada, then why immigrate here? This is a real event poster from the Palestinian Feminist Collective. Excuse me, Mr. Prime Minister Mark Carney, sir. In the dictionary under redundant, it says see redundant. Do you believe there's actual feminists in Palestine where you're not allowed to speak out above men, where you are brutally beaten
just for being a woman?
Just for
you don't have the privileges of driving or anything.
For not covering your face? Like, are you insane? Feminists for Palestine. What are we doing here? What is this? This is a meme in itself. I don't understand what's going on with our country anymore. In fact, free barbecue and fundraiser while we block the streets and talk about how terrible Canada is.
I wonder how many cars they'll light on fire and...
Well, they got to have somewhere to barbecue.
Right?
Right? So maybe they'll get a couple Priuses together and cause a bonfire. You know, well done burgers for everybody. I don't understand. I hate it. I hate this. What's funny is that APP, and this goes into my video about getting my threatening email this week. When you look at Alberta Prosperity Project, there's actual people going out of their way to call places like in Lethbridge, where they're holding speaking events.
And getting it canceled.
Saying, shut it down. We don't want it. And the people who own the venue start saying, that's not worth our time. And they tell Alberta Prosperity, we can't host your event anymore. We can't have you around.
And all that says is, hey, you won.
This is censorship at its finest.
Oh.
The fact that businesses listen to this and they don't stand up for their convictions, they don't say, hey, you know what, maybe I'm on board with that stuff. I'm going to let it go through.
Or, hey, money's money. I'm taking the event anyway. Like, what does it matter?
What's funny is Alberta Prosperity still had their speaking engagement.
Good.
They still were able to have a show elsewhere. But the fact that people are doing this, it only burns the fire more high for independence in this province. It only pushes more people to say, isn't this why we want gone? Because all this woke stuff has to go. This whole, I'm not going to listen to your opinion, but you should listen to mine shit. I'm so done with it.
Well, I mean, an anti-Canada day. Why even be in Canada in the first place? Then.
Somebody said it. Somebody said it. Mayors on taking major cities and police chiefs. Well, so let's talk about a mayor for a second here. Actually, a former mayor. Let's talk about Naheed Nenshi. If you guys watch the videos, you'll know we've talked about Nenshi a lot of times. If you're not from Alberta, if you don't know about Naheed Nenshi, he used to be a corrupt mayor in Calgary who basically pummeled it into oblivion.
Yep.
He taxed the citizens while he spent money on virtue signaling art projects. He threw money out the window, went in an Uber and bragged about it in an unbeknownst recording while he was being driven around in the United States. Now he's running for the head of the NDP in Alberta. He wants, now people saying, what did Carney quit? No, I said what did I say on the street? He calls it quits. They left after 17 days of work to go on vacation.
For the summer.
To go on vacation. They called it quits for the year. They're done.
He just couldn't wait for his government-paid vacation.
Disgusted Canadian, $2 Super Chat. Is anyone else celebrating Canada Day this year? I'm not sure if we're allowed.
Right?
I'm not sure if people are allowed to celebrate Canada
I had
Day.
that question last year, and I definitely am feeling it this year.
You know what I'm going to celebrate this year? Alberta Independence on July 1st with a Canadian flag. I want Alberta to celebrate its independence.
Block party. Whoop, whoop.
Block party. Here's what happens. Here's what happens with Nenshi, who's running for the head of the NDP. Now, his whole campaign is pushed around by bad-mouthing Danielle Smith, where he says, when I was mayor, Calgary was ranked 5th most livable city in the world. Under Danielle Smith, it's dropped to 18th. Leadership matters.
But Danielle Smith is not the mayor of Calgary.
She's not the bloody mayor. And he got absolutely ratioed 3.2 likes to 347,000 views. I'll go through the comments.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
I'll go through the comments
when
in a
I was
second.
Mayor.
In a second, I'll go through the comments.
I mean, Calgary still ranks high, and it's not a good city to live in.
Big shout out to David over at Moose on the Loose. He had a banger today.
Oh, I love that.
And a lot of people emailed me about it and mentioned it and said, Derek, go talk about this. I don't want to steal David's thunder because we're all on the same team here. Please go and watch David's video.
He does good research.
He did a great job. I love his chart that he's got, and I don't want to infringe on that. But here he is. Gondek is the mayor of Calgary, not Danielle Smith. The same mayor who received campaign funding from Brookfield and Matami Homes, both positioned to make a fortune off Carney's modular housing initiative for Canada. You want to talk about conflicts of interest? You want to talk about corruption? You want to talk about C5 and why these things are going through? This is all to make people money, just like it did during the pandemic. Just like it did. I'm doing my Donald Trump. I'm doing my Trump hands, just like it did. Okay, just like it did during the pandemic. Just like Justin Trudeau making money off of patents.
Can you catch yourself doing
certain
that?
jabs? I do sometimes when I'm talking to people. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, sometimes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Sometimes, like yesterday, I was sitting with my father. We're talking. I said, "Dad, you gotta understand. I only want the best for you. Believe me. I want to make sure you're good and you're well, you're healthy." No, is David in? Somebody said David's here. Moose is here. Good for him. Shout out to David if he's here. I got to collab with him. I keep saying we got to, and then I never get around to it. I got to have David on the channel, especially to talk about Alberta Independence.
Yes.
Maybe after Preston Manning, we'll get David in here. My people know your people, David. We'll give you a call.
Who's your people?
Brookfield. It's me, really. It's me. I'll do it. But I have to sound important. I have to sound important for David. Big shout out to the work that he does.
Yes.
This web of lies, this throne of lies that we sit on. Here it is with him showing Matami Homes and Brookfield Residential contributions to failed, woke, corrupt Mayor Jyoti Gondek. And people are asking, why is she running again this year? Why is she running for re-election?
When they tried to recall her.
The city tried to recall her. CB Fixes All saying, "Oh, Moose is just cool whip." He is. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. Is that all we're at? Is 400 likes? Can we not do better than that, folks?
Oh, we can definitely do better.
We got almost 1,000 people watching this stream. Can we not hit that thumbs up? Hit it up, guys. Get it going. We're going to talk about a lot of important stuff tonight. We need an audience.
Yeah.
Hit that thumbs up. Support the damn channel. Come on. What's funny is Moose has done a great job of keeping track of all this. But when you start tying in the money, and I'm going to talk a little bit about government tonight, and I'm sorry that it's going to go on a bit of a path that maybe people aren't going to want to go on. But there's a rabbit hole here, folks. And it really gets me to a position where my faith in politics, my faith in the system is starting to wane. And it goes into preaching about independence. But Sheldon Yakachuk, who's running for a councillor's position in Calgary, if you guys are voting for any councillors in your riding, if Sheldon's in your riding, please give him your vote or consider giving him your vote this year. But he clapped back at Naheed Nenshi. Current issues in Calgary, introduced and fostered by Mayor Nenshi. Gutted the downtown city core, Nenshi. Anti-oil brigade. Rampant drug use and overdose, Nenshi. Safe injection sites. Crime, Nenshi. Defunded the police. Blanket rezoning, Nenshi. Anti-sprawl campaign, sued by builders. Skyrocketing property taxes, Nenshi. Almost doubled the property taxes as mayor. The Green Line LRT was Nenshi. Unrealistic estimate pulled out of a hat. Still not 1 inch of track laid down. Affordable housing, Nenshi. Shuts down Midfield Trailer Park. Infrastructure, Nenshi. Avoided maintenance on water main for his entire tenure. By the way, that put Calgary without a single drop of water last summer.
All summer.
All summer. Like, we're talking 30-degree heat. Don't
From
turn on
May
your
to
sprinklers,
September.
folks. Pulling the pin and then lobbing his grenade at catastrophe before quietly exiting is not an issue of Premier Smith nor the provincial government. These are 100% Naheed Nenshi, a guy who now wants to do this to the entire province. This is why people can't let this guy get in. We can't let him get in.
No.
Nick with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. How much money has gone overseas from the feds? Just seen an ad on donations for Ukraine for $20 a month. It ticks me off.
Wow.
It's got to stop. The laundering has to stop. Disgusted Canadian, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Would you say Nenshi is Alberta's Olivia Chow? No, because Olivia Chow just does nothing. This guy is ruining.
Very corrupt. He will pretty much do anything. Just.
Let's take a look at the comments under Nenshi's tweet. Andy Lee, good friend of the channel. Did I miss the part where Danielle Smith was the mayor of Calgary?
Right?
Next person. This is a little confusing. Are you saying that the mayor is the reason for the city's prosperity or the premier? FYI, you fat slobby F. The same party was in power when you were mayor.
Yeah.
How dumb are you? Kian Bexty. Heads up, Danielle Smith is not the mayor of Calgary. That would be your friend Jody Gondek. Calgary's livability started dropping when you were the mayor while taxes skyrocketed. Hope this helps. Another good friend of the channel, Mia Bradshaw. Danielle Smith isn't the mayor of Calgary, but it's your buddy, Jody Gondek. And when you were the mayor, there were backdoor deals being made.
So many.
You didn't run the last time because you knew you wouldn't win. Everything was catching up to you. Again, why is this guy running for leader of the NDP?
Like he pulled out because he knew his cores had run.
His by-elections this week, don't forget, folks, on the 26th. Or is it the 23rd? Sorry, 23rd. Berta Proud Dad, another great Twitter account. LOL has nothing to do with the woke-ass mayor that took over. Also, what happened to the infrastructure money? You were the mayor. You know. Canadian Retard Finder, did I miss some years of my life when Danielle was appointed the mayor? I mean, it goes on and on and on. This is why we've had enough. This is why we can't do it anymore.
Oh, he's just so... Like, just the fact that he even thought that was a good post.
OAO saying, I was shocked to see Danielle support the grifter Vladimir at the G7. So let's talk about that, because I want to talk about Danielle for a minute. Yeah. And this is where people probably aren't going to like what happens in this stream. But stay with me on this, folks, because there's a reason I'm talking about this. And I did talk to Mrs. Fringe. See, I'm almost sounding like Donald there. I talked to Mrs. Fringe before the show. We had a long conversation about it. She understands. It's important. Because it's all leading to something. So
yes.
Stay with me. People are mad that Danielle Smith was on the tarmac welcoming people like Vladimir Zelensky into Alberta. As the Premier of Alberta, that is her job. Whether she likes or dislikes those people, she has to do her job.
Yes.
You have to realize the ramifications as Premier if she were not to do that. If she was to say, I don't like what the hell's going on in Ukraine, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to welcome him in. For those who vote for her, who support her, it's political suicide. She cannot do that. I hope that clears the air. That doesn't mean I'm making concessions for Danielle Smith, because one of the things I do have to talk about that came out of the time of the G7 that was being pushed out this week was Bill C5. A lot of people messaged me today and said, well, the Conservatives have gutted the intrusions that were being made by the government, the power grab that was being made by the Liberals in C5. They wanted it amended so that when it comes to fruition, the government still has to go through certain steps in order to get things built. People are missing the point of why I had an issue that Danielle Smith backed C5 why the government, including the Conservatives, are backing C5 and what my concern of that is. I'm going to tell you guys a little off topic that leads into it, that if you weren't aware, at one point while we're talking about Naheed Nenshi, old Fringe here was throwing his hat in the ring to run for mayor of Calgary before we left. I spent a lot of time around individuals that are very well known around the city, people who are powerful, people who have influence around Calgary, people in politics. And every single time I would leave those meetings, sometimes with Mrs. Fringe, when she would join me at those events, she would always hear me say, the more I meet these people, the more I see what goes on behind closed doors, the more I see in the background, the more I don't want to be a part of this world.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I have what it takes.
The harder you dig, the more corruption you find.
I'm a conservative at heart, but I am a Canadian first. I want a better country for
but
each.
You're also a pretty honest person. Like, it's hard to think that somebody could do those things.
There's no beating around the bush that you have to have a pretty cavalier way of living in order to be a politician.
Low.
Same with being a lawyer, same with being a lot of different things. But there's a lot that I see that goes on that makes me start to question that when you look at Moose on the Loose and you look at the chart that he's made, the connections, the 6 degrees of separation, if you want to call them that. When you start to see people of influence in Calgary that have ties to people like Danielle Smith, ties to Pierre Poilievre, the government, when you see things like C5 and, oh, we'll just make some amends. The government, I don't care if they're Conservative, NDP, Liberal, PPC, whoever takes over if Alberta claims independence, the laws are there for a reason. No power should ever be allowed extra on top of a government that would infringe on anyone's rights at any time. I don't care how important it is, even if you're wanting a pipeline, even if you're wanting things to happen to fruition so that your province can get emissions caps handled. I got news for everybody who's applauding C5 in Alberta. All they had to do was get rid of the cap on emissions, and Alberta would be in a better spot than C5. Before I continue, Disgusted Canadian says, he's got a fever.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Disgusted Canadian, ready to kneel for the Canadian anthem. I mean, the problem, folks, and you'll have to forgive me that I'm not following the chat here because I want to look at the camera. I want to speak to you directly. If anyone in here thinks that it's ever a good idea to give those in authority more power, no matter how much they preach that it's necessary, that it's going to help everybody, just trust us, bro. As much as I love Danielle, and I like her as a person, I think she's fantastic. But who she is as a person versus who she is as a politician are two different people. One's a job, one's her as a person. Same thing with Pierre, and you guys have heard me say it before, to great scrutiny. I like Pierre as a person. Do I trust Pierre as a politician? Not 100%, because he's a politician. And he knows that. And he understands that remark, that it doesn't mean that I dislike him. It doesn't mean that I don't agree with some of the things he wants to do. It just means that when it comes to government, folks, you don't give people power that don't need it or shouldn't have it. Too much power can be a terrible thing.
Well, look what Trudeau did. I mean, he changed a lot of laws just to give himself more power.
Well,
and Carney still has that power.
The pandemic should be a lesson for anybody who touts on that wire to say, well, some things it's okay. Is it really? How many times have we given the government power where they haven't given it back?
They will never give it back.
And for anybody who wants to say, oh, but come on, Fringe, we need a pipeline. We want to keep Alberta part of Canada.
But that's not why he's doing it.
It is not.
Give us a pipeline.
We're not getting a pipeline. The only pipeline that's going to go through, if anything goes through, is what Wob Canoe's talking about in Manitoba going to Churchill. We're not going to get anything to BC because David Eby doesn't want to do it. Carney's already taken his stance on that. We're not going to get anything going out east because Quebec has said it's not socially acceptable. And if Wob Canoe is prepared to do a line out to Churchill, then guess what, folks? We don't need Ottawa. We just need Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. That's it. And it always revolves around the question that I can never understand, why people are so hung up on continuing to give the government your money, your freedom. Why we're so content to roll over and lay down and get our bellies rubbed and say, it's okay, we trust you again. Just don't do it again. Don't hurt us again.
This may shock you. They will. They 100% will. They will definitely hurt you again.
I have to be honest with you guys that as good of a conversation as I had with Preston Manning this week. I left the phone call and we said the same thing when I hung up the phone, that this makes me curious as to what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Can Alberta even leave? And it's not a matter of the legality.
Alberta, Canada or Alberta? You said Canada.
Sorry, can Alberta leave Canada? It's not the legality of Alberta leaving. Alberta can leave legally. But the question comes, are the big players at the table, meaning those who influence, billionaires, hedge fund managers,
they have their pockets in everything.
Are they going to allow Alberta to separate and claim independence? When you start to talk to people who have an ear on the tracks, a pulse, influence in that market, experience in government, I'm telling you right now, and you guys won't understand because you haven't heard the conversations. And I can't tell you some of those conversations because I could probably get sued for it. The reality is that once you're there in that room, when you hear those conversations, people you looked up to, people that you watched for years that said, I believe in them, I believe what they're doing. I'm telling you right now, even when I went to Ottawa and was honored by the Conservative Party in the House of Commons, I still left and came home and immediately said to my wife, it wasn't what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Alberta needs its independence because we need something new. What's happening isn't working for us.
This government is broken. We need something. We need something.
Disgusted Canadian, thank you for the $5 Super Chat. The only thing I'm okay with politicians using emergency powers for is keeping people like Paul Bernardo in maximum security. But they shouldn't have to get special powers for that. No. I agree with that, and thank you for the Super Chat. But I don't agree with giving the government any extra power. Suna Soul Silver, thank you for the Super Chat as well, $5. I had to pay plus $200 for taxes for useless carbon return is a measly $20. I honestly have enough for my money to go for things I don't want and need. Thank you for the Super Chat. Arthur OK gifting 5 unacceptable fringe memberships to the Patriots Club. Thank you so much for that. Your generosity is very much appreciated. I don't want to be a downer to people. I really don't want to. I don't want to get people's hopes out the window. I want to try and stay positive. The reason I'm saying that this is going somewhere and it's turning around, folks. W. Brett Wilson. Do you guys know who he is? You ever watch Dragon's Den? Very influential, multi-millionaire, I'm going to say. Yeah. I don't think he's a billionaire. I know he's a multi-millionaire at the minimum. Lives in Calgary. He sat down with Candace Malcolm this week for an interview where he applauded C5 before it was amended. And gave very anti-independence type speeches. And this is where I talk about those in power. Are they going to let Alberta go? Because I imagine his portfolio might be affected if Alberta were to claim independence. Now, I don't want to speak on his behalf or say anything slanderous about W. Brett Wilson.
But could we make this so big that they don't have that option?
That's what I wanted to get to. Because what worries me about W. Brett Wilson, you guys remember there was a conference that happened with Dr. Jordan Peterson. Tucker Carlson came down here. Danielle Smith was there. W. Brett Wilson put that entire thing together with a few other people. W. Brett Wilson is close friends with Danielle Smith. And this is, again, where you start to draw the lines like Moose on the Loose does. And you start saying, but if he's anti-independence, Danielle Smith has taken the steps to say, we're going to lower the threshold so people can vote. We're going to lower the threshold so people can hold a referendum. They can ask the question. And I've often said she has to play the long game here. But a lot of people, even in this community, have chimed in and said, I don't think Danielle wants this to succeed. I think she's setting it up to fail. And this is the problem with the time that I have spent around all of these influential people, is that it's not a matter of I believe that, but you definitely question, could that be possible?
Anything is possible.
Nick with a $5 super chat. This is close to how Starter's Republic falling and the Empire rise out of nowhere. Yes. Thank you for the super chat. But what we have to do here, folks, is this is where it turns around. And again, I don't want to badmouth Danielle because I'm going to put my faith in Danielle. I'm going to put my faith in her doing the right thing, that I believe in my heart of hearts that she's what she said she is, a libertarian, that she does not actually want to rule out the idea of Alberta becoming independent. I do believe she would stand behind it.
Yeah.
But this is where I keep saying, because one thing Cam Davies brought up in our interview was, how come Danielle Smith didn't just say we're going for a referendum? She doesn't need the signatures. Why is she allowing for the signatures? Well, there actually is an explanation for that. What Cam Davies is doing is trying to alter your mind thought to think, well, Cam's in it for us, Danielle isn't. What he's not explaining, and if he knew anything about politics, which I think he does.
Yeah, he's just playing the game.
He's not telling you the reality that if Danielle Smith were to say we're going to referendum, she would lose her job tomorrow. There would be people recalling her.
Yeah.
I do agree that she has to play the game. But what we have to do as Albertans is, even if Danielle were lining up the ability to fail so that she could push for a sovereign Canada, and that is her actual goal, then it's up to us as Albertans to do what she's giving us the option for, and that's hold a citizen-led initiative, a referendum. We have to be vigilant. We have to do the work, folks. We have to get the numbers. And we have to make sure that when people are saying, I don't want to leave, we have to start showing them the data. We have to start showing them, here's all the benefits. I don't know anybody in this world that if you said, when you get your paycheck, if I took half of it or 10%, which would you rather I take? 10 times out of 10, someone's going to say, well, I'd rather you take 10%. So that's what leaving Alberta is going to do for you. Why would you want to stay when the only thing we're getting rid of here is the federal government?
Yeah.
That's it.
Nothing else. You're still always going to be Canadian.
Steve, $13.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Alberta independence is the only way forward. I agree. We have to stay vigilant. We have to push it. We have to push the independence train. We can't rely on Danielle. We can't rely on Cam Davies. We can't rely on anybody but the good-hearted, hardworking people of Alberta. That's why I keep saying, I know people sometimes from other provinces that watch this channel around the world, they say, hey, Derek, you're laying it on thick with the Alberta stuff. It's time to move on.
But everybody in Canada needs to be informed about what's going on, because this will affect everyone.
I want to tell you why I won't move on. And it's something personal. Yesterday, Mrs. Fringe and I took a day off. We drove back to Calgary, actually the first time we were back there since we moved. We went out to visit my father after his surgery. He was at the foothills. I can't tell you how absolutely heartbroken and pissed off I was to walk into that hospital to find out where my father was staying. I understand that people have gripes within Alberta healthcare. I understand that the unions play a big role in that, and the unions are a lot of the problem in that. The bureaucracy of Alberta Health Services being a separate entity to the government or the provincial government of Alberta. But when I went into that hospital, my father was staying on a ward where it was plastic surgery, burn victims, different instances of skin grafting and things like that. Because again, they had to remove tumors. When I got there, I found out he was staying on a bed in the hallway. In the frickin' hallway. And I lost it. And I said, why are you leaving my father in a hallway with a curtain around him? no bathroom.
Like, he's a human being.
And they said, well, we're at capacity. And I said, then why are they scheduling surgeries? Didn't you guys just get a brand new cancer center? Why are we scheduling surgeries when there's no capacity for people? And they said, well, there's nothing we can do about it. And I said, well, I have a right mind to go to the Premier's office and complain. I know her personally.
And she said,
please do.
Here's the number.
We never get heard. We don't get the resources we need. We don't get anything else.
They're
you
not
guys
happy about it either.
You guys remember QP and Rachel Notley and her stupid husband running around saying, we're going on strike, we're getting better things? They settled. They settled. And this is what I was talking about, that entire strike. It goes to bonuses. It goes to people's pockets.
It does not go to the bottom line.
We have a hospital in Southeast Calgary that's massive and it's empty. There's no doctors in there. Why? Politics. Stupid union politics. I had to watch my father laying in a hallway. Now, he was quite upset that I gave it to those people because the nurses were doing a great job.
They were.
And I told them, I'm not going to yell at you. I'm yelling at the system.
And the problem is not with the nurses and it's not with the doctors. It's the system. Because they're doing the best they can with what they have.
What resonated in my mind right then and there is Quebec saying it isn't socially acceptable for us to allow Alberta to be prosperous. We're giving $16 billion a year to those fat pigs at a trough, those ungrateful French Laurentians, so that they can suck up our funds and tout how great they are and control the sway of the elections in our country, so that Alberta, who has no voice at the table, can have empty hospitals on one side of town while others are at capacity with no flippin' doctors.
And it's a brand new hospital.
If we claimed independence tomorrow, those billions of dollars could be flooded into a new healthcare system. There would be better rules for doctors and the unions could piss off. And people say, why won't you give up on the Alberta stuff? Because when I go in and I see that not just my father, but other people laying in the middle of a hallway, how are they supposed to rest, sleep, get away from the noise?
That's their room until they're released.
Absolutely pissed off at what I saw. Saved by Grace, $7 super chat. Nothing is so permanent as temporary government programs. Look at income tax.
Yeah.
Oh, it's temporary. We're just putting income tax in temporarily to pay off war bonds. 100+ years later, we're still paying it at exponential levels. KW, $7 super chat. Thank you. No, thank you.
Thank you.
Steve with a $13.99. Alberta independence is the only way forward. I agree. Thank you for the super chat. Kinsey, $5 super chat. Brookfield Infrastructure owns interpipelines in Alberta. How is that going to work out? Will they be able to obstruct things? It's whatever benefits Mark Carney.
Yeah.
But as he says, I've given all my checks to everybody. I've stepped back from all the boards I'm a part of. It doesn't mean that you don't act within the best interest of Brookfield.
Oh, 100%.
Arthur with a $10 super chat. Derek Tiffany, how are you doing? I love you, Derek. I got to say, your new mic arm spans across the screen of your stunning game background. I know, but I got to look professional, man. I appreciate the super chat. Live streams, at least, we're on the wireless mics. It doesn't have to do that. But thank you for the super chat. Jan Core, Mrs. Fringe, make the nurses some cookies.
I would love to.
Dane Company, $10 super chat. I am from Montana and love my fellow Albertan neighbors. You have a lot of support down here in Montana, your independence and 51st state, whichever you choose. You're a cute couple on a side note. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. We love our American neighbors.
Oh, I just hurt myself.
We went down 2 years in a row. We went to Coeur d'Alene in Idaho. We took the kids to Silverwood. We went to, where else did we go in Washington?
Well, we drove through Seattle on the way home.
Drove through Seattle. I'm glad we didn't stop there. Massive city.
It was beautiful, though. It was really cool.
Took our kids to Great Wolf Lodge in Grand Mound, Washington. Love that area of the country. I've been to Great Falls, Montana, another place to go shopping. That's great.
Beautiful place to drive.
Back when the dollar was in a good spot.
Yeah, we won't be going there.
But every time we've gone down there, Americans are so friendly. So friendly. In fact, when we stopped in Coeur d'Alene, one of the police officers there, and this was a year and a half, 2 years ago, coming up on the summer, 2 years ago, recognized me from YouTube when this was a mere 10,000 subscriber channel. So very flattered that our American viewers are always in here. RC $2 Super Chat, is Carney still running Brookfield? Well, he says he's not, but you think about you think about what's going on with Brookfield Modular Homes, funding Jody Gondek again, what Moose is showing. You can't tell me that none of this was laid out for the best interest of Brookfield. Where's Mark Carney going when he's not Prime Minister?
Oh, he's going back. Of course he is. I mean, you can't say he doesn't have his pocket in there somewhere.
I want to show what CB Fixes All had to say, because he does a lot of great work for the channel in the background. This tweet he went out. What's fair about this bullshit? Nothing at all. Alberta needs to leave. This is why the argument's here, folks. These are Senate seats. Senate seats. How is it that 12 million people in the West have less representation than 2.5 million people in the Maritimes? New Brunswick and Nova Scotia have 20 seats combined, 24 including PEI. That's as many as these 4 provinces all together. For New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and PEI. I almost said PEI. All here. Quebec has 24 Senate seats. Ontario, 24 Senate seats. Will never be taken seriously at the table. This is why we have to GTFO. This is why Wab Kinew, Scott Moe, Danielle Smith should all get together and say, look, this isn't working for us anymore. It's time
get a real plan
to get out. We've got to get away from this corrupt government. Danny's saying stop equalization payments. Absolutely.
I would love to do that, but we've been talking about doing that for years.
It's PeeWees Playhouse. Yeah, there you go.
Like that.
Oh, hang on. I meant to get Jason here. Brookfield is everything now. Policy will make Carney a billionaire.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys remember we showed on video Mark Carney, and again, this was a video that got flagged for misinformation before the election, where he said government pushes policy. Policy is what Brookfield was in partnership for in places like Texas, in the United States, because policy is what pushes their profits. Those were his exact quotes. What's he doing in the House of Commons with C5? What's he doing when he's talking about all these things that are great with modular homes, funding Jody Gondek's Calgary mayoral career on 15-minute cities? It's all for his benefit. This is how Trudeau's net worth went from $7 million to 130 plus million throughout the pandemic. This is why I keep saying they're the new mafia. They're just a racket that come in, steal our money, we remain poor, they get rich, they retire, no jail time, parliamentary privilege. This is one of the things I would want to push if Pierre came on this channel, and I know he'd never talk about it. When are we going to see electoral reform? When are we going to see parliamentary privilege revoked so that you guys got to start following the goddamn law?
Yeah.
When's that going to happen? Never. Never, because any politician that goes in and does that, it's career suicide because of all the fat cats that'll kick them out of their job. That's why we have to leave. Even if you love this country, when the rules are more beneficial for those who are in power versus those who are contributing in tax dollars, it's time to go. It's time to go. We need a new system. Well, the last one out, please shut off the lights. Nilok with a $5 super chat. My dad was put in the same situation beginning of last year. He had a clot in his leg, almost died. My mother threw a fit though and got him in and seen. I appreciate that.
Horrible.
I'm glad. I mean, I appreciate the super chat.
Yes, I'm so glad.
I'm sorry for your situation, but this is unacceptable. This is no way to run a healthcare. People always say, and again, I'm not blaming Americans, but Americans say, "Oh, y'all got free healthcare up there." This is the result of free healthcare.
It's not working.
Arthur gifting 5 more unacceptable fringe memberships to the Patriots Club. Thank you so much. Welcome to 5 of our new members. Disgusted Canadian. The state of the country right now makes me see the flag has nothing more than an oversized red and white snot rag. I mean, I still love my flag, but I get your sentiment. I get why people are fed up.
I don't like this Canada.
Arthur, okay. Derek Tiffany, I bet you can't guess where I am.
I don't know where he is.
Mexico. I know he's at Oasis playing Donkey Kong. Danky Kang. Harry gifting 5 more unacceptable fringe memberships to the Patriots Club. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to pull up a poll that I did on YouTube today. And if you haven't voted in the poll yet,
I haven't seen it.
Head over and get in the poll. Let's hang on here. For some reason, I'm signed out. Let me get over to my channel. Let's get over to that channel there. Let's take a look at this poll. Because this is the question that I asked. This is the one that I wanted to. Jay Peterson now gifting 5 more unacceptable fringe memberships to the Patriots Club. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are so generous tonight. Thank you. Let's take a look at this poll I put in. Make that a little bigger for you. I said, let me ask you all a serious question. Many are supporting Bill C-5, which gives sweeping powers to the government, including Conservatives. So I'm talking about the support. Many, including the Conservatives, supported C-5. Now, I understand that it was amended. The comments, 149 comments here out of 3,000 votes. I know a lot of those are talking about what the Conservatives did to amend the bill. But here's the question. If Mark Carney gives Alberta a pipeline out west or anywhere else, is that enough to convince Alberta to stay in Canada? The question being, yes, I would stay part of Canada. No, it's too late. Alberta needs to leave. 90% of the votes, I can tell you right now, I know this is because I'm not signed in, it's not showing it, but 90-something% of the votes say it's too late and Alberta needs to leave. That's out of 3,000 votes.
If you click on it,
it wants me to sign in.
Okay.
It wants me to sign in. There's no reason for us to stay. Nilok saying we don't care.
No.
I hope that means we don't care what Carney does. No, we don't care about the poll.
We do care about the poll.
We do care about the poll, but this is why I'm asking the question, because when all the other players come to the table, and you'll hear this when Preston Manning comes onto the channel, and it's part of the reason I wanted to have him on.
Yeah.
He's talking about, look, there's a lot of different players in the game here. When it comes to people in Manitoba that are talking about independence, when you got Saskatchewan talking about independence, Alberta talking about independence, we want it done right if we're going to do it. But what is the right way? Is there a way that Canada could remain a nation within a nation in the West, similar to Quebec, while having, I guess, kind of like a group of people who are designated and elected to go to the Senate and basically give the old, you do what we're asking or we're getting out of here for real? I know this is just Cliff Notes versions I'm giving you. Preston Manning will outline it better when he's on the channel this week. So keep your eyes open for that. Again, it makes a lot of sense, but I don't even know if it's possible with the disdain that Albertans have right now. People don't want a Western Canada front. They want Alberta to get out first.
Yes.
Others
100%.
can follow. Others are welcome to follow. But the reason we want Alberta to be independent and not the whole West is that Alberta is going to make its own laws, its own constitution. We need our own constitution to keep greedy government fat cats out of our money. Because let me tell you, as soon as we become independent, there's a lot of money to argue over.
Yeah.
And as soon as there's money, the rats come out from the woodwork, folks, and they're always looking for a handout. Arthur, okay. $10 super chat. This is the very best community on YouTube. Love you guys.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much. We love you guys. You guys are great.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the support tonight. You guys are fabulous. When you couple all of this in with what I was just talking about that I see in the backgrounds when I talk to these people in power, and just as I said in my video about my threatening email, I will never take a single dime from a politician, from a political group, from anybody of political interest.
No.
And I will always be transparent with this audience, because just like you, I want better for this country. That's the whole purpose of this channel. I'll listen to all of the talking points. I'll listen to Preston Manning. I'll listen to Cam Davies. I'll listen to Alberta Prosperity Project.
And we'll share that information because everybody should be informed
But
on what's out there.
I'll tell you the same thing I've told all three groups. My primary concern is Alberta getting the hell out.
Yeah.
No matter which way you slice it. And I believe that's what all other Albertans want as well. Don't forget you've got the silent majority there.
Yep.
Lima, becoming a member for 2 months, born, raised, and spent the majority of my working life here. The decline has been staggering.
Yeah.
It's worse than ever. Carol with the $20 super chat. Prayers to Alberta from Michigan. We're with you. Thank you so much.
you.
I appreciate that. You guys, God, you guys are being so generous tonight. I'm literally taken back a bit. Thank you. Jay Peterson, $5 super chat. Liberals know that Canada's done. They're bound and determined to strip everything to the bone before they leave, and there's nothing left. That's what I'm worried about with things like C5. That's why, even though it's been amended, what worries me is you've got the government saying we want power. Mark Carney hasn't even been in for 90 days as prime minister.
And he's already
With a mandate.
asking
With
for
a mandate.
more.
He's been just over 100 days after winning the leadership role, but I didn't count that as prime minister. I'm saying with a mandate, less than 90 days, and he's already asking for more power. Shouldn't that concern people? Shouldn't that get you asking some questions? Like, what the hell's going on? Met a girl with $2 super chat. Hi there. My first chat tonight. Wow. Thank you. Welcome to the Fringe. It's great to have new viewers in here. Thank you for your support. Welcome. Welcome to the Fringe. Welcome to all of our new viewers. We've been growing even though YouTube's been hammering our videos down. This is part of censorship. This is all part of where we're going in the future, folks. I still have to figure out where we're going in the future. Do you know YouTube still hasn't given us our silver play button? They won't allow me to apply for it.
But they did tell you today to stop asking.
Yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. It's normally a 10-day process to review a channel, according to them.
3?
We're on month 2, and they still won't, like, we officially hit 2 months, and they still won't give me a date.
No.
I said, how does it take 6 times as long as normal to get a review done? You've already given me a check mark. Oh, stop asking.
Yeah.
We'll get to it when we get to it. I worked my ass off. This community deserves to see it.
Yeah.
They're a part of this. They did
I'll
the
just
same
buy
thing to
you
Moose on the
one.
Loose. They did the same thing to Moose on the Loose. Carson El Gringo Grande gifting 20 unacceptable Fringe memberships
Thank you.
to the Patriots Club. Thank you so much. Hopefully
we must have hit that 750 likes.
I guess so. Thank you so much, Carson. Wow, you're so amazing. It's such, all you guys are amazing. I hope one of our newer viewers.
Makes the week better. It's been a hard week for you.
It's been a hard week with my dad and everything. So thank you. Even with that email, because we had to discuss: do we stop doing meet and greets? Do we stop going out? Like, what do we?
Right?
What do we do? You know, we go out with our kids to a lot of places, and sometimes people know who we are.
Yeah.
Like, we're not celebrities; we're just people on YouTube. But we do have a lot of viewers in the area, and it does start to raise some concern.
We'll just need to get a shovel.
Get a shovel. Jan Cortulo super chat. That's quite a T-shirt. Thank you so much. You know, I've
Mrs. Fringe likes to shop for him.
Mrs. Fringe likes to shop online, and the problem is she's got me hooked on Shein. So now we go through Shein, and I go, oh, I like that. I like that. I like that too, and I like that. And she racks up a whole bunch of stuff, and as soon as it's on sale, she gets like 10 outfits for $50. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I am a good shopper.
Pale Pinkish Humanoid, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. The donation because of the fabulous Mrs. Smith. There you go. Well, that's amazing. Norman, $2.79 super chat. Thank you so much. Throw a message in there next time. Thank you to everybody tonight for everything. OAO saying, if you need a bodyguard, I can assist you. Safety first. I'm not going to be that. I'm not going to go that far. But it does. It's scary. It's scary when somebody says they want to unalive you in front of your family. That they're going to find out where you are, and all because of a political opinion.
Yeah.
Because I allowed somebody on the channel, and they think that I'm trying to run Danielle Smith out of a job.
Absolutely not. But
so
either way, we're just one person. Like, it's not. We don't have that much clout.
I'm flattered that anybody thinks that this channel has that kind of movement.
You're not that important.
If it is, then I should run. I should run for premier and then just, you know, get the good life. You know, like. I was gonna. I don't like drama, but I do want to look at this because has anybody heard from the pleb? Like, I've messaged him. I haven't heard anything back from him. I don't think he's coming back.
Enjoying his break.
I don't think he's coming back. I don't know what, because he said he was going for a month. He's been gone for 2.
He'll come back. He always
Pleb sank with Pierre. Entire charade was a joke to democracy. I don't think it was a charade. I think the problem is that he was heavily invested in the future of this country.
Yeah.
He believed change was coming, and his whole channel was built around that change, and suddenly it collapsed.
That was hard. He took that loss very, very hard.
He took it hard, but you got to get back on the horse.
Yeah.
I wish him the best. I hope he comes back soon. Nick, if you're watching, maybe send a message. Just let me know you're alive still. He is alive. I know he's alive, but come on.
It's starting to sound like Snatch.
Come back to the YouTubes, pleb. We need you back here. We need more people in this fight. Nilok at $10 Super Chat. I comment the same thing on other creators' channels. It doesn't matter what we, the Conservatives, do now. It doesn't matter what deal. Alberta is out and done listening. We're done being told how to think and act.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you for the Super Chat. This is part of what I keep saying to people when it comes to independence. Now, I know this week I was supposed to have Jeff Rath on the channel. We were supposed to talk about the budget bill that was coming out from APP.
They're not ready to talk yet.
It's still being amended. Yeah. They're getting ready to talk about it as soon as it comes available. I do have the document. I just can't show it because I gave my word that until it's amended.
And they're happy to come on and talk about it. They're just not ready to do that yet.
Jeff's an amazing guy. Like anytime, I'll tell you right now, anytime I've texted him and said, "Hey Jeff, how you doing?" It turns into a 1-hour phone call. And the two of us just go back and forth. There's a lot to talk about. He's an amazing guy. I can't wait to have Jeff back on the channel to talk about it more. But if there's an APP event going on in your area, go and listen to what they have to say. It's the least you can do. It's free. You get some information.
And it never hurts to get a little information and be informed.
AlbertaProsperityProject.com is where you can head to sign up your intention to vote in favor of a referendum once they start taking signatures. So head over there, register your email. They have made it very clear in our interviews. They are not selling that data.
Nope.
It is personal and locked up. They're not doing nothing more than getting emails out when it's time. So shout out to them and their crusade for an independent Alberta. And again, I am not paid by them.
Nope.
I am not endorsed by them, sponsored by them in any way, shape, or form. I just believe in what they're doing and will continue to be the unofficial source.
Yep.
Kinsey with a $5 Super Chat. Since 2014, the industry has lost approximately 50,000 jobs. Yeah. Also, as of March 2023, Alberta has lost over 10,000 oil and gas jobs in a single month.
Yep.
It's horrible.
And it just keeps going down. I keep hearing how hard it is right now, especially in the oil and gas. I've got friends that are out there and their companies are doing mass layoffs right now. So it's a scary, scary world right now.
Cuba Bound, $10 Super Chat. Thank you. I'm not just acknowledging Super Chats here, folks.
No, it's just
they keep popping up and I don't want to miss them. Mark from Canada, Poli, has a very good idea on how to separate without playing the government game. If you play by the rules, it won't work. Feds are beyond corrupt and won't allow it. I'll reach out to Mark and we'll see if we can get him on the channel to talk about it. But thank you for letting me know. Thank you for the Super Chat.
Yeah, thank you.
Phoebe saying, if you're listening, Pleb, we love you. We do. Pleb's a great guy. Nick is a great guy. I only got a minute to catch up with him when he was in Alberta at Pierre's rally. It was a brief hello, how you doing? Good to see you. And I meant to get in touch with him, but it's too bad. I like Nick. He's a nice guy. Again, I've spent time with him off video and gotten to know him, and he's really a nice guy. Like he should come back.
He will.
James, what happened to Pleb? Faith. Well, again, I can't go into it again because we've been talking about it forever. Thank you for the Super Chat. Nick with a $2 Super Chat. That ban on gas and diesel has me worried. Well, this is part of it, and this is where people need to start connecting the dots when it comes to C5, because they're saying, well, it's natural gas, it's oil and gas. They're going to do a pipeline. That's why they want it, so that they can quickly get one in. They don't have to consult with people.
They are not going to do a pipeline.
Then why are they banning vehicles in 10 years? Why is it going electric when we don't have the capacity for it, when we don't have the charging stations, when we don't have the grid to support it? In fact, Pierre Poilievre put out an amazing video about it this week on how it is not feasible, how it can't work. This is all to drain us, guys.
Yeah.
So while people say, hey, C5 is a good thing, like, this is why I question again, if Pierre's calling out this EV ban, why is Danielle Smith supporting C5? What is it that's going on in the background that we don't know?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. It doesn't make sense.
And that's just it. There's always something in the background.
That being said, I think there's a logical explanation. I welcome that explanation.
Yep.
But I'm just saying that when you stand back on the sidelines and look at all angles, something isn't adding up here.
Yeah, for sure.
Carney is such an incompetent failure. Ugh. Well, yeah. He went on vacation. There were Liberal MPs who said we shouldn't be leaving after 17 days of work. His own party was speaking out against leaving in the House of Commons. And he says,
how many up to date in the 90 days he's been in office, how many of the Liberals have crossed the floor to the Conservative Party?
None.
I thought there were some.
Nope. None. Carnage, APP is growing at every town hall meeting. We will win the referendum.
Good.
I sure hope so. We got to stay strong on that one, folks. Norman with the $13.99 super chat. Alberta's oil is so thick they have to cut our oil down to resell it. Think of the money we have.
Yeah.
I mean, think about if we were to be independent and build our own refineries.
Yeah.
And process it ourselves.
But the jobs alone that we would be able to give, we would just be so prosperous.
Again, guys, I got to catch up with these. I apologize. I'm not going to just acknowledge these. In fact, we're going to get to question time very shortly. Sithcat, $10 super chat. Keep up the good fight. Thank you. You guys keep hanging out. Keep supporting the videos. Check back daily because a lot of people are not being informed when our videos are dropping.
I'm never informed.
Mrs. Fringe has her bell on for all notifications and she never gets it. And YouTube always has excuses for me.
If I didn't live with you, I probably would never know.
The problem is if the videos aren't getting watched, they don't get pushed out and YouTube stops recommending the channel. The word can't get out, folks. So share it on your socials. And again, that's not me pandering. It's just
because we are not the only channel that is having this issue.
Go and look at the view history on Mr. Sunshine.
Everybody is suffering.
Northern
right now.
Perspective, Moose on the Loose.
Yeah.
They're all doing well on some videos, but go and look at 1 month ago versus now. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, that's just because the election's over. People have burnout. There's a lot of different things. The same day that Real Talk Politics got the axe from CBC, everyone saw
everything went downhill
across the board, like a 50% deduction in views. I think they're trying to kind of make it too difficult for us so that we willingly leave the platform. And some people will. We won't.
Starting slow.
We won't be leaving, but I know some people will. Some people will say enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. I think they're pushing people out. Oh, we got this super chat again. Norman, thank you very much. Harry gifting 5 unacceptable fringe memberships to the Patriots Club. Thank you so much for your generosity. Again, Harry, you've been very generous tonight. I saw your name in big letters here. Tiffany, there have been 3 senators that have crossed to the Conservatives. Oh, see? Senators. Senators.
Okay,
you said MPs.
Okay.
You said
senators.
MPs. Yes. Senators have.
I knew that there was somebody.
Okay, but I thought we were talking MPs. Okay. Deb becoming a new member of the Patriots Club. Welcome to the Patriots Club. Thank you so much.
I can't read nothing when you.
I know. I gotta stay sharp.
I know.
Oh, I gotta stay sharp.
We're still so far behind in the chat.
You guys, you're crazy. Dane Company, $10 super chat. What are the odds of the whole Western Coalition joining together? What are your thoughts? And you guys are definitely most outspoken versus the other channels. I appreciate that. What do you think?
I definitely think that if Alberta were to go independent, it would be like a domino effect. I know that there is part of BC, Saskatchewan, they're all looking to do the same thing, but I don't agree with doing it together. I think Alberta needs to go first.
Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, it'll definitely be a domino effect.
Alberta needs to be the first to step forward and say, okay, we're going. We understand our constitutional rights. We're going to make Alberta great again.
Yeah.
We're going to make it great again, folks. We're going to pack up our bags. We're going to tell Matt Carney we're out. We're leaving.
No, Christopher Walken tonight too. It's been great for me.
Guys, ask, you shall receive.
No.
Pale pinkish humanoid gifting $20. This is to help support the channel.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
Much.
It gives me a bit of a fever.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Norman Weinrich, I'm guessing some people don't like my arguments tonight, and that's good. That's good. I'm going to go back and read the chat afterwards. Yes. Because this is what I was talking about on yesterday's video, that we can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
That's what makes being in a democracy so amazing.
You're not going to agree with 100% of everything.
Could you imagine how boring life would be if we all agreed, if we were all the same?
That's what makes you human, is having your own mind.
Didn't have old offensive fringe who treats his wife like Mark Carney's here to blab on about
that would
things.
Be horrible.
I agree with Derek. He's right. Mark Carney's got way too much power. This is dangerous for us.
It is.
Any government, even if it was Pierre, No government should have to overstep the rules that they've already been given.
I
the
feel
power.
like we knew he was going to do this, though.
And he did it so quickly.
Oh.
That's what's worrying me.
Because there will be more coming. This is just the first.
Metagirl, $2 super chat. We believe conservatives can't give up now.
Yeah.
Pale Pinkish Humanoid, also $20 super chat I had on the screen. This is to help the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. God, you guys are so generous. Con D-Word, $10 super chat. Keep up the great work. My favorite channel next to
no one.
No one.
Woo-hoo.
Next to no one. A lot of people love this channel. They love the content. Did you see the people giving all the generous super chats tonight? Did you see that? They're very generous. Very generous. Acting like we're part of Uganda.
They love you.
They love the Fringe. They love coming around, hanging out. They loved watching Donald Trump spank Mark Carney around and then leaving the G7. He said, I'm out of here. I'm not giving money to Zelensky. No. I'm leaving. I'm packing my bags. I'm going home. We got wars to deal with. We got real problems around the world, and they got to be handled.
I love that.
We're not messing around either. Retaliatory attacks coming to all countries. Nick, with $5 super chat. At least you can run alcohol in the gasoline engine with some modifications of vegetable oil and diesel engines is a workaround.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It's just as expensive as gas.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That would be bad.
They want to govern your They want to govern your mental. It is governmental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to take over everything.
Maple Kitty. I got a new kitten and named her Maple Syrup. So there's a real Maple Kitty here now.
Oh, I love it so much.
You shouldn't be naming them that because if you go around the wrong people and say this is maple syrup, they're going to be eating your dogs and eating your cats.
Our oldest had a cat named Pancake. They should get together.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
I love that Maple Kitty.
Maple, you don't want people eating your dogs or eating your cats. Okay, be safe out there. Carnage Carney, $5 super chat. One of Ford's balls dropped this week. He's calling for jail, not bail. Well, that's because, and we covered that in a video, his car got stolen. His car was stolen. So now that he's a victim, well, now we should be talking about locking all these people up. Now we got to get rid of all of that. If you guys missed the video today, we were talking about how Calgary has turned into a third world shithole because the police are now saying, hey, people are breaking into houses and stealing cars, and they're all from other countries. Who knew?
Just leave your keys outside.
Joe Lawrence, you're Trump. It's very good, Fringe. I like it.
It's getting better.
It's getting better. I love your impression of the Donald. I think it's fantastic. You do a good impression. I come here every week. Many people get mad. Those guys, they're lunatics, by the way.
What I love is even that you do the aneurysms and the motions and stuff, even when you're not even trying.
Even when I'm not even trying, folks. It happens in the house all the time. I'll be yelling at my kids.
And I catch you doing Trump when we're just having regular conversations.
I'll go up to my daughter Harley and be like, Harley, listen, your room, your bedroom, it's a bit of a mess. Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
You gotta clean it.
I'm not gonna lie. Your brothers, they're lunatics. They're running around the house. They're messing it up. But Harley, you gotta clean your room. Okay, you're fired. The Trump just comes out. I can't help it now. I can't help it now.
You've done it so much. It's funny.
Where are we? Where are we?
Where are we? There we go.
Norman with the 279 super chat. I wonder if he left his keys on the front door. Maybe Olivia Chow told him to. I don't know. We'll see. Lori, $200 super chat.
Wow.
Holy crap. Oh my God. We love your channel and all the hard work you do.
Love your channel.
Keep it up in LFG.
Thank
Wow.
you so much.
I am so flattered that I don't care if you super chat $2 or $200. You guys are so generous.
Yes.
Thank you.
Best community ever.
This is why I say it in every video. We have the best community ever. Lori Patterson. She's 1 in a million. Have you seen Lori before? Have you seen her on the channel? She's fabulous.
The best.
She's the best, believe me. Maple kitties out there eating the dogs.
I love that so much.
Eating the cats. Maple syrup. It's not good, folks. Don't be doing that.
Syrup.
Don't be doing that stuff. Aaron, $20 super chat. Please go and buy your dad some flowers and magazines. I got him some magazines, but they're not the kind of magazines I think people would want.
They're
dirty magazines. You know, they still make those. That was almost Trump. See, I can't shake it.
We used to buy the dirty mag bags for gag gifts.
For gag gifts.
Christmas
You guys ever see those? Now, I know a lot of my audience,
Probably
is in a
will
different
not
age range. But when we were in our 20s, the adult stores used to have what we would call dirty mag bags, and they were just
a horrible mix.
Not like Playboys or nothing, but like magazines that were done like Fat Ladies, and then another one was like Cousins and shit or something. Like it was weird stuff, and you'd throw them at a friend at a stag party or something and say, "Here, happy stag." And they were like the worst pictures you've ever seen in your life. Like this was before the internet got crazy with that stuff. It was always a walking joke amongst our friends. Jerry, $2 super chat. When Alberta leaves, we can hard cap immigration here.
100%.
We have to
Send them home.
We have to.
Doors are closed.
Norman with a $6.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know I missed one. I missed Con becoming a new member. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Patriots Club. It's great to have you here. Let's do Q&A.
Yeah.
Let's do some Q&A. If you guys want me to do it like Donald, I could do it like Donald, I suppose. But then, Mrs. Fringe, you're stuck with me talking like this all night.
And then exactly. And then I got to listen to it
all night. I'll go upstairs and be like, listen, you're wearing some nice clothes. I like your clothes. They're the best, believe me. But you could probably do with a little bit less, a little bit more.
I need to go there.
I want to make this house great again. Let's get the Q&A going on. Norman coming in. I love watching everything that you post because it's all the truth. Alberta does need independence.
Yes. Thank you, Norman.
I wholeheartedly agree. Andrea saying, do the Donald. I am the Donald, let me tell you. I'm the Donald. Let's go. Can we send the illegals to Mark Carney's house as a raid? Oh, God, wouldn't that be lovely? Wouldn't that be amazing? That would be great.
Luca above is sending, are the kids done school? They got one more week.
One more week, and then I get to tear out what little hair I have left.
I get to make end of year school cookies. Did you see Melissa's video?
Oh, somebody sent me that before the stream. No, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Didn't have a chance to watch it yet. I will check it out though. So sorry for that, because I did want to talk about that. Pretty Weird Duck says, do you think Elvis Presley will ever return?
Sure.
No.
Why not?
Elvis, he was a great singer. He was one of the best, believe me. He was a great singer. Do you ever see Elvis?
Yeah,
you ever see Elvis sing?
Yeah, I saw him live.
Oh, he was fabulous. Elvis was fabulous. Toured the world. Toward the end, got a little heavy there, a little heavy set like the Fringe. Fell asleep on the toilet. That was the last we saw of him. Now, a guy like me can eat a lot of McDonald's, but let me tell you, folks, nothing can bring the king back.
No.
He doesn't have the stamina like Trump to handle the real world. Ask stupid questions like, what's your favorite color? Red. So we can make Alberta great again.
Mrs. Fringe could be Donald Duck. I don't know how.
Somebody said Mrs. Fringe is sleeping with Donald Trump.
Oh, if he
Let
ever
me tell
did
you,
a voice.
middle of the night, Mrs. Fringe wakes up and I'm talking to my sleep. I got great deals for you. I got great deals. Let me tell you. Hates it.
Nope.
Hates it. Adventure Al, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Metagirl. Oh my God, you're going to love it. Thank you so much. You're going to like the way it looks. I guarantee it.
We'll have to check it out after.
We'll check it out after the stream. The king died on the throne. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Joe says your thumbnail cracked me up. Lamau. I work hard on those thumbnails.
Yes.
I try to make sure you guys have funny things to look at. People think all the time that because of the way I dress or the way I act that I don't take things seriously, but this is an entertainment channel, folks. It's come get your news, but have a little bit of fun while you're here. We don't take things too serious unless, of course, I go on a rant.
The world's so depressing. We need to find that fun.
I do have some pretty good rants. You got to admit it.
Yes.
Sometimes the Fringe
You
can have
got
some good
really
rants.
angry tonight.
I got pissed off talking about hospitals, about medical systems. Let me tell you, they're in big need. Have a good slap in the face. Yeah, I thought that was a funny thumbnail. People get mad at video titles and things. Look, guys, we're just doing what we have to survive. Get past it. Never going to apologize. Just wait for the alien invasion because it's going to happen. It's already happened. It's already happening. Thoughts on Trump's show of military power in Calgary. So I wish he would have shown more and just liberated us. What you see there is what happens when you actually care about your military, when you actually put them to work, when you're prepared to defend your country, when you're not sending them all to Ukraine.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with Donald leaving. Could you guys imagine what a shit show the G7 would have turned into if Vladdy showed up when Trump was there? Speaking of the G7, did you guys see when Trump landed, and Danielle Smith welcomed him? Jody Gondek was standing next to him. The raccoon eyes that she had, the dark circles under the eye. She looked like the crypt keeper. It was terrible. Welcome to Calgary. Oh, fuck. Adventure Al, $2 super chat. Don Fringe, we need ice here too. I would bring in ice and they would take care of the problems, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Send in the National Guard, scoop them up.
5 million illegals right now.
We're not going to pat them on the bum and say you go to jail. You get to hear your pleas of asylum in our country anymore. We're going to boot them in the ass, ladies and gentlemen, put them on a plane and say, get out of the country. You're fired.
It should be so scary how it was when Trump took office. They left on their own before they got caught.
Metagirl, $2 super chat. Also Mark Carney and Michael Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the super chat. Slongdex is nasty. Yep, terrible.
She's a meth head.
She's a meth head? Well, I don't know. If you have proof of that, please send it here because I would love to do that story.
I saw a question. If we went independent when we still have a Canadian Tire.
We still have Canadian Tire? We could allow them to stay.
Yeah,
I guess. We'd be nice.
Like
we could call them Independent Tire. Berta Tire. Come down to Berta Tire and get your needs. God, that was almost like a Southern American Texan. I like my chili hot. When you're hanging out and a hard-working man as tough as I am, you want hot noodle nuggets and dripping Texas tough onions on a spoonful. Come down here to Berta Tire and get your equipment, get your trucks working, folks. I call them Crappy Wheel. My friend used to call them Crappy Tire.
Yeah.
Back in the day. What's happening here? This is Pojo Mac.
Oh, we're just having fun.
I mean, you're kind of getting in at the end if you're just joining us, but
we're doing our question period now.
We're doing Q&A. If you guys have any Q&A, throw it in the chat.
Ukrainian Tire. No.
You know what's funny is that where were we last week when I came out? Oh, we were coming out of a store, and you could smell the smoke coming from all the arson.
Yes.
That's going on. And I said it. I said, smells like arson here. And the looks I got from these two old people were absolutely priceless. Because I keep forgetting how woke some parts of this area are. And it's so funny when people get the reality, the wake up call that some people don't buy into their nonsense. Just make sure they continue to sell them hot dogs outside of Berta Tire. Yes, absolutely they will. Do they do that? Because I don't see.
They do.
They did in Calgary. They had a mini donuts place in Calgary.
But I can't say we've been to a Canadian Tire here.
I went to Canadian Tire to get the kids their trampoline.
They didn't have the donuts.
And they didn't have donuts.
But sometimes they don't actually open until like 1 o'clock.
In fact, Harley got a little embarrassed because one of the workers, the guy who helped us out with the trampoline, stopped halfway through the parking lot to say, I just got to say, I watch your show. And I love it. My daughter's like, God, Dad, can we not go anywhere without somebody knowing who you are?
She loved it.
I'm actually shocked that I thought when we moved to Spruce, it's smaller than Calgary. Probably won't be anybody who knows who I am.
I never got anything in Calgary. It was just...
it happens at least twice a week now. And it's very flattering. I have to say, it's very flattering whenever I run into somebody who tells me how much they enjoy the channel, because
we have a great community, of course.
Even, ladies and gentlemen, even when the views are down, when YouTube's out with their censorship, things like that are the reason I will always continue pumping out the content for you here on the channel. So that you've got something to watch. You can watch me embarrass myself. You can disagree with my politics. You can say, oh, that fat guy on YouTube, he's such a jerk. He doesn't know what he's talking about, believe me. Get a load of all the Uber Jeets up on a plane and send them back to Ottawa where they came from.
Yep.
Send them back outside of Ottawa. Get them out of Canada. There's people in Ottawa that don't want them here either. Lady Deathraiser, I love that name. What are Mrs. Fringe's earrings? They're so shiny.
Ow! Oh, I hurt my arm really bad. I can't move it now. Thank you.
What are they?
They're just, I don't know. They're just little flowers.
They didn't come from me.
No. Yeah, they came from
Where did you get them,
I got
Tiffany?
them from Shein.
Oh,
$2.
I thought maybe they were from the mailman. Okay. Metagirl, $5 super chat. Those videos are a big slap in the face. Thank you for the super chat. I feel so bad that I didn't have a chance to check them out. I was catching up with a friend of mine from Manitoba before the stream, and I got wrapped up in that, so I apologize. I meant to check out that video. The maple earrings, just like maple syrup.
I want to eat maple syrup.
Poor Maple Kitty, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. The people that live there.
I love it.
How did you do that, Mrs. Fringe? How
What
did you
did I
do?
do?
What did you do?
Oh, my arm? Oh, I got frozen shoulder.
Mrs. Fringe has frozen shoulder because, you know, it's a full-time job keeping this house clean with 3 kids running around. No, I'm kidding. It's one of those things, you sleep weird on your arm, you pinch a nerve, you do something. For the last little while, we're waiting on a cortisone shot so Mrs. Fringe can use her arm again. And they'll put her to work as soon as she does, let me tell you. No, I'm kidding. And it sucks because, once again, just like our health system, like we went to the doctor, what was it, a month ago?
Yep.
And we asked, can we just get a cortisone shot because it fixed other issues? And they say, oh yeah, well, we got to go do a
X-ray.
We got an X-ray, ultrasound. That's going to take a couple of weeks. We're going to get that going. A month for that. Then we go see the doctor. Then he says, now we'll schedule the referral for the cortisone shot. Who knows how long that's going to take. So you live with this nonsense for months on end.
And I can't use my arm. It's great. I can't sleep. It's awesome.
It's why we need, like, this is what I talk about. When you look at food prices, when you look at what you're paying in your taxes, the cost of gasoline, the taxes upon taxes upon taxes that are going out the window, our medical system, everything, really just everything that the government has their hands in. Wouldn't it be so much better if we just signed on a ballot and got the hell out of here and had all that money to decide, hey, let's put it in these places where it's necessary. Let's start looking after people. Let's start giving people real pensions that they can afford to pay their bills and enjoy what's left of their years because they've contributed for so long. They've built this country up. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice to say, hey, you know what? We're going to look after our veterans. We're going to take care of them and make sure that they're looked after, that their mental health is looked after, that we have counseling services for them, that we have programs to keep them active after they're done serving, to ensure that they feel useful to society, that we constantly engage with them and make them feel important for everything they've done. Give me a break. This country's a joke. Don't feel bad. I've been waiting to find out why my leg is in pain since October. I had to limp down the aisle when Tammy and I got married in Jamaica. Still waiting. I'm so sorry to hear that. But that's the reality of healthcare. That's why I always say that, like, I wouldn't want to go to a hospital in America because I know what some of those things cost.
Well, I mean, I just think, like, when my little brother had, what was it that he had? Something bad, and it was really dragging, but it wasn't COVID. And every time we went to the doctor, they just tested for COVID and said, nope, that's not what it is.
Yeah, pushed him on his way.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm in pain here.
Yeah.
Nope, get out.
Like there's a real
See you later.
problem here. What is it?
And that's what I was going to say is that I wouldn't want to go pay like a massive bill at a hospital in
because
America.
you have to keep going back and finding a real problem for it.
But little but in there. If it meant that I could get something done, I mean, Americans again always say, well, you got free healthcare. It's not what you think it is. Carol, adding to that, it's a sick care system. Anytime you go there, they'll give you shots or whatever. They're not actually solving the problem. We need to start looking at our health naturally.
Yeah.
Our bodies were made to.
Yep.
That's why Americans have medical insurance.
Yep.
Absolutely. See, and again, I don't want to pretend that I understand America's healthcare system. I just know that, what was it? Who were we talking to when we were having Steve? And somebody said, oh, you're lucky you're not having a baby in the United States. It costs like $30,000 to have a baby. And I said, who the hell has $30,000 to go have a baby?
Well,
that doesn't make sense.
Since he was a C-section.
But again,
that's why people have labors at home, because a midwife is far less expensive.
I'm assuming health insurance covers a good portion of that. Master of Snatch chiming in. Good old Snatch. Don't fool yourself. We lived naturally for millions of years and had a lifespan of 30 years.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, there is a message for you.
There, we're getting emails. I don't know if my microphone picked that up. Good old Jarvis telling me I've got an email.
Going off already.
With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're over our usual time. Time to say goodbye. I know we almost need like a little goodbye song. It's time to say goodbye. Nick with a $5 super chat. This country is the butt end of of a joke. No thanks to the Liberals.
It's really sad.
Absolutely.
Because Canadians used to be held so high.
In a country where we will pay for people to chop off their genitals, but we won't pay for them to get the help they need, it's absolutely a joke.
Yeah.
Something's got to be done about it. What's going to happen for us? Well, it's got to be independence. For those who think that I push too much on Alberta, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. The federal government's gone for the summer. We're going to be following it.
Officially.
We're going to be following it all summer long, folks. Anything that happens federally, I will be covering here on the channel as well. Don't think I'm not talking about Canada. I'm going to yell at David, Moose on the Loose. I'm going to tell him, you get over here, you get on the channel, let's do something. Keep your eyes peeled, folks. Again, Preston Manning will be joining me this week.
Tuesday.
Pierre may step in at some point by the looks of it this week, or in the near future, not the distant future, the near distant future. There's totally hyperbole. God, blah, blah. Thank you to everybody who came out tonight. Thank you for everybody who super chatted, who supported the channel, who gave out memberships. There's too many of you to go through individually.
Thank you so much, everybody, for your support.
Thank you so much for your support. Thank you to everybody who came here tonight, who gave a thumbs up, who joined the stream, who had a good time with us. Always fun to chat with you guys, like I say, every week. I will be going through the live stream chat. Again, it moves so quickly when these streams are going on. I can't see everything.
Always go back and check them out, though.
But I do go and rewatch the entire stream, and I look at what everybody had to say. So please never feel like you're not being heard. I'll try to do a better job to acknowledge people. It's just there was so much coming in tonight on the super chat end. I don't want to ignore people who are doing that either. Hopefully people can understand that end of it. Join the Patriots Club if you haven't yet.
Yeah.
Next Friday is our last stream of the month before the end of the month.
giveaway.
So we'll have a giveaway to the Patriots Club. One lucky member is going to be drawn for one item of choice from our shop. Maybe we'll have a new t-shirt in there. Who knows? Maybe something new to pick from. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope there's Jarvis yelling at me again. I hope you guys look after each other. Enjoy the weather if it's nice weather where you are. If it's bad weather, stay in and watch some Fringe videos. Maybe that'll keep you up to speed. Keep your eyes. Speaking of Pierre, got a great video coming out tomorrow to talk about his upcoming by-election. Keep your ears to the track on that one. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, from Mrs. Fringe and myself, have a great weekend. Keep your stick on the ice, and we will catch you on the next one.
Take care.
Take care, everybody.